Have you ever looked back on your life and realized that the most powerful moments were the ones you kept to yourself? The quiet victories, the private reflections, the lessons learned in silence, these are the moments that shape who we are. Yet, in a world where oversharing has become the norm, we often forget that there is strength in discretion. There are things in life that, once spoken, cannot be taken back. Some truths are not meant for everyone, not because they are shameful, but because they are sacred. If you are between 55 and 75, you understand that life is not just about what we share, it's about what we protect. Maybe you've shared something too soon and regretted it. Maybe someone judged you unfairly because they knew too much. Or maybe you've learned that silence is sometimes the greatest wisdom. This is not about hiding. It's about preserving. Protecting the things that truly matter. As we age, something subtle but undeniable happens. People start seeing us differently. They assume we are fragile, incapable, or even irrelevant. But let me tell you this, you are none of those things. You are the keeper of decades of wisdom, experience, and resilience. And yet, the moment you reveal too much, your age, your finances, your personal struggles, suddenly, people begin to place you in a box. They offer unsolicited advice, they see limitations where you see possibilities, and worst of all, they make assumptions about what your future should look like. I once knew a man who never spoke of his achievements. He never boasted, never sought praise. And yet, when he passed, people spoke of him with the highest respect, not because of what he said, but because of how he lived. In a world that overshares, we must remember the power of holding things close. Not everything is meant to be public. Some things are best preserved in silence. So, what are the secrets you should never reveal? Before we begin, I'd really appreciate it if you like this video. It helps me keep sharing more important lessons. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend hitting the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Also, if you enjoy this video, please comment 1. If you don't, comment 0 so I know how to improve. Now, let's get started. 1. Age. Imagine meeting someone new. The conversation is warm, flowing effortlessly, until the question comes, how old are you? The moment you answer, something shifts. Maybe it's a subtle change in their tone, a slight hesitation before their next words. Suddenly, you're no longer just a person, you're an older person. A number has been placed on you, and with it, assumptions begin to form. They might think they know your strengths, your limits, your future. But here's the truth, your age is just a chapter number. It does not tell the story. Society has conditioned us to measure life in years, but years alone do not define a person. How many times have you met someone younger who seems world-weary and tired, while another in their 70s radiates energy and enthusiasm? That's because life is not about numbers, it's about experiences. The way you think, the way you feel, and the way you carry yourself say far more about you than your birth year ever could. Yet, in a world obsessed with youth, revealing your age often leads to quiet, insidious forms of ageism. People may start speaking to you differently, offering unsolicited advice as if you need guidance. They may assume you are less capable, less adaptable, or worst of all, nearing the final stage of life. But longevity is unpredictable. The number of years you have lived says nothing about the fire still burning inside you. So why let a simple number dictate how people see you? Keeping your age private doesn't mean you are ashamed. It means you refuse to be confined by other people's expectations. It means you define yourself on your own terms. Let them see your wisdom in your words, your strength in your actions, and your vitality in the way you embrace life. You are not an age. You are a force shaped by experience, resilience, and the moments that have made you who you are. So the next time someone asks, smile and say, old enough to know what really matters. Because that is the only number that truly counts. If you're still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment 2 below to let me know you're still here with me. Thank you for taking the time to watch. 2. Money. Money is a strange thing. It has the power to elevate or divide, to bring security or cause endless worry. But here's the real truth. Money is only as powerful as the meaning we attach to it. Whether you have an abundance or just enough to get by, your financial situation is personal, and sharing it with others often brings more harm than good. The moment people know too much about your money, whether it's wealth or struggle, expectations, assumptions, and even judgments begin to form. Imagine telling a friend that you've saved well over the years. Suddenly, there's a shift in how they treat you. Maybe they start joking about how you should be the one paying for dinner, or perhaps they subtly hint at a financial favor. And if word spreads, before you know it, others start seeing you as a source of help rather than a person. On the other hand, if you confess financial difficulties, the looks of pity start to emerge. Some will assume you've made poor choices, others may start offering advice you didn't ask for, and worst of all, they may begin treating you as if you are defined by your struggles rather than your resilience. We live in a world that often equates success with financial status. But money does not define character. It does not measure kindness, wisdom, or the impact you've had on others. Whether you have much or little, your worth is not found in a bank statement. It's found in how you live, the way you treat others, and the legacy you leave behind. Keeping your financial matters private is not about secrecy. It's about control. It's about living life on your own terms, free from expectations and assumptions. Because true freedom is not about how much money you have. It's about not letting money, or the opinions of others about it, control you. So let them wonder. Let them guess. Wealth whispers, and dignity walks in silence. And in the end, the greatest fortune you can have is the peace of knowing that your financial life is yours alone. If you're still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment 3 below to let me know you're still here with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 3. Family secrets. Family is the foundation of our lives. Messy, complicated, filled with love, and sometimes filled with conflict. Every family has its own story, its own struggles, and its own deeply held secrets. And yet, one of the greatest lessons life teaches us is this: not everything needs to be shared. The moment you reveal private family matters to outsiders, you invite interpretations, judgments, and opinions that were never meant to be part of your story. Think about a time you confided in a friend about a family disagreement. Maybe you shared a sibling rivalry, a misunderstanding with your child, or a long-standing tension with a relative. At first, it might have felt good to let it out. But then something happened. The way that person looked at your family changed. Maybe they started treating your sibling with quiet disapproval or whispering about your situation behind your back. And what if your words eventually found their way back to your family? What started as a moment of venting could become the reason for an even deeper divide. The truth is, outsiders will never fully understand the intricate bonds of family. They don't know the full history, the unspoken love, or the quiet moments of reconciliation that happen behind closed doors. And while they may listen with sympathy, they also carry their own biases, filtering your story through their own experiences. What they see as betrayal might just be a misunderstanding. What they call toxic might simply be human imperfection. Keeping family matters private is not about ignoring problems. It's about protecting the people you love from unnecessary scrutiny. It's about allowing relationships to heal in their own time, without the weight of outside judgment pressing down. It's about respect. So when conflicts arise, take a step back before you share. Ask yourself, is this truly something the world needs to know? Or is this a moment that, with time, understanding, and patience, can stay within the walls of those who truly matter? Because at the end of the day, family is not perfect, but it is yours. And some things are best kept within the bonds that only family can understand. If you're still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment below to let me know you're still here with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 4. Medications. Health is personal. It is one of the most intimate aspects of our lives, yet as we grow older, it seems to become everyone's business. People start asking what medications you take, what conditions you have, and how you're managing them. And while these questions may seem harmless, they often lead to something much more troubling: the way people begin to define you by your health rather than by who you truly are. Imagine casually mentioning that you take medication for high blood pressure, arthritis, or diabetes. Almost instantly, you become the recipient of unsolicited advice. Someone insists you should try a special diet. Another swears by a miracle supplement that cured their cousin. And before you know it, the conversation shifts from who you are to what's wrong with you. What they don't realize is that their well-meaning concern can feel like a reminder of limitations you never asked to be defined by. Even worse, when people know too much about your health, they start making assumptions. They might speak to you differently, with a tone of pity or unnecessary concern. They might hesitate before inviting you to activities, assuming you can't keep up. In some cases, they might even exclude you, believing they are sparing you from discomfort. But what they fail to see is that while health is a part of life, it is not the entirety of who you are. Keeping your medications and treatments private is not about hiding your reality. It's about maintaining control over your own story. You decide who knows, how much they know, and how you wish to be perceived. Because your health does not define your value. Your strength is not measured by the prescriptions you take, but by the way you continue to live with dignity, purpose, and resilience. So the next time someone pries into your medical history, remember this: you are more than your condition. You are more than a prescription label. And the only person who truly needs to know your medical details is the one who helps you manage them. The rest? That's for you to decide. If you're still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment below to let me know you're still here with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 5. Sexuality. Intimacy does not have an expiration date. Love, passion, and connection are not reserved for the young, nor do they fade away simply because the years pass. And yet, society often turns a blind eye to the reality of sexuality as we age, treating it as something that is either non-existent or inappropriate. But here's the truth: intimacy remains just as meaningful, just as fulfilling, and just as sacred in later years as it was in youth. And for that very reason, it should be protected, not put on display for the opinions of others. Perhaps you've seen it before: the raised eyebrows when an older couple holds hands, the jokes about romance fading after a certain age, the assumption that passion is something left behind in younger years. These ideas are not just outdated, they are deeply wrong. Intimacy evolves, but it never disappears. If anything, it becomes richer, built on years of understanding, trust, and a deeper kind of love. But here's where the problem arises: when people talk about their private relationships too openly, they invite others into something that was never meant to be shared. Discussing personal details about intimacy with friends, family, or acquaintances often leads to judgment, misunderstanding, and even disrespect. Some may react with discomfort, while others may see it as an opportunity to impose their own views. And before you know it, something once sacred becomes something trivialized by outside perspectives. Your love life, whether it's filled with passion, companionship, or quiet moments of connection, is yours alone. It is not something that needs validation from others. It is not something to be explained or defended. It is a bond that belongs only to you and the person who shares it with you. So let society make its assumptions. Let the world believe what it wants about age and intimacy. Because the truth is, real love and desire do not fade with time. They deepen. They strengthen. And they belong only to those who have lived long enough to understand just how precious they really are. If you're still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment 6 below to let me know you're still here with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 6. Charity. True generosity does not seek applause. The most meaningful acts of kindness are not the ones broadcasted for recognition, but the ones done in quiet sincerity, without expectation of praise. Giving, whether it's money, time, or support, is a deeply personal act, one that should come from the heart, not from the desire to impress others. Yet, in today's world, where everything is put on display, there is an increasing pressure to prove our generosity. But real charity is not about being seen. It's about making a difference, whether anyone is watching or not. Think about a time you helped someone in need. Maybe you donated to a cause, supported a struggling friend, or extended kindness to a stranger. Did it feel any less meaningful because no one knew? Of course not. If anything, it felt more genuine because it was given without expectation. But the moment you announce your giving, the purity of the act can change. Some may see it as self-serving, as though generosity needs an audience to be valid. Others may feel pressured to give when they aren't in a position to do so, turning an act of kindness into a source of discomfort. There is also another side to this, protecting the dignity of those you help. Not everyone wants to be known as a recipient of charity. When you share details of your giving, you risk exposing someone else's struggles. The best acts of kindness are those given with respect, allowing the recipient to maintain their sense of pride and independence. So give quietly. Help without the need for validation. Be the person who gives because it is right, not because it is seen. Let your generosity be felt, not flaunted. Because the most powerful charity is not the one that demands attention. It is the one that changes lives in ways that may never be spoken of. And at the end of the day, the greatest reward for giving is not admiration, but the simple knowledge that you made the world a little better, without needing anyone else to know. If you're still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment 7 below to let me know you're still here with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 7. Honor. Honor is not something you announce, it is something you live. By the time we reach our later years, we have built a lifetime of experiences, achievements, and contributions. Some of us have raised families, built careers, overcome hardships, and left marks on the world in ways both big and small. And yet, true honor is never found in how loudly we speak of these things. It is found in the quiet dignity with which we carry ourselves. In a society where people constantly seek validation for their accomplishments, the greatest strength lies in not needing to prove anything to anyone. Think about the people you respect the most. They are not the ones who boast about their success, list their every achievement, or seek admiration at every turn. They are the ones who lead by example, who allow their character to speak for them, and who carry themselves with humility. There is a fine line between celebrating your successes and turning them into self-promotion. When you constantly talk about your accomplishments, you risk diminishing their true value. Instead of inspiring others, it may come across as a need for approval. On the other hand, quiet dignity commands a different kind of respect. When people recognize your wisdom, resilience, and contributions not because you told them, but because they see it in the way you live, that is true honor. It is in the way you treat others, the way you handle adversity, and the way you move through life with grace. The world does not need to know every battle you have fought or every victory you have won. Those who matter will see it. Those who are wise will understand it. Let your legacy be written not in words, but in actions. Because the strongest reputation is the one that is built without effort, the kind that follows you not because you demand it, but because you have earned it. And in the end, real honor is not found in how many people applaud you. It is found in knowing, deep within yourself, that you have lived with integrity and strength. 8. Insults. There comes a time in life when we must choose between holding on to past grievances or freeing ourselves from their weight. Every person, at some point, has been insulted, humiliated, or dismissed. Harsh words, betrayals, or moments of disrespect leave scars, some deeper than others. And yet, the question remains, do we let these wounds define us, or do we release them and move forward? True wisdom lies not in remembering every slight, but in knowing when to let go. Carrying old insults is like carrying stones in your pockets. The longer you hold on to them, the heavier they become. Think about a time when someone wronged you. Perhaps it was a friend who betrayed your trust, a family member who dismissed your struggles, or a coworker who belittled your efforts. The memory of those moments may still linger, and the anger, hurt, or disappointment may rise even years later. But ask yourself, has holding on to that pain ever brought you peace? Has replaying those words in your mind ever changed the past? There is a certain power in choosing silence over reaction, in deciding that your peace is worth more than proving a point. People who insult others often do so from their own insecurities, their own shortcomings. When you refuse to carry their negativity with you, you take away their power. Holding on to anger does not punish those who hurt you, it only keeps you shackled to a moment that no longer serves you. Letting go is not about pretending something never happened. It is about deciding that it no longer has control over you. It is about recognizing that your worth is not tied to someone else's words or actions. Those who truly know you, respect you. Those who don't, their opinions hold no weight. So release the old wounds, not for them, but for yourself. Because the strongest people are not those who never get hurt, but those who refuse to let hurt define them. Your life is too valuable, your time too precious, to waste it carrying burdens that should have been left behind long ago. If you're still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment 8 below to let me know you're still here with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 9. The strength of personal belief. There's a quiet power in the beliefs that guide you through life. Whether it is a personal mantra, a religious faith, or a philosophy that has carried you through hardship, these inner convictions shape who you are. And yet, not every belief is meant to be shared. In a world where opinions are constantly debated, where people feel the need to question, challenge, or even dismiss the deeply personal truths of others, there is wisdom in keeping certain beliefs sacred. Your mantra, whether it is a phrase that gives you strength, a prayer that brings you peace, or a lesson you've learned through experience, is yours alone, and its power comes from how it shapes your life, not from the approval of others. Think about a time when you shared a personal belief with someone, only to be met with doubt, skepticism, or even ridicule. Perhaps you spoke about your faith, only to hear someone question it. Maybe you shared a philosophy that has guided you, only for someone to argue against it. Suddenly, what once brought you peace becomes a point of contention, something to be defended instead of simply lived. But beliefs are not meant to be debated, they are meant to be lived. The strongest convictions do not need validation from others. They do not need agreement or applause. They only need to serve one purpose: to guide you toward the life you want to live. When you hold your beliefs close, when you allow them to shape your actions instead of your conversations, you preserve their power. The world may not always understand what strengthens you. That's okay. Not everything is meant to be understood by others. Some things are meant to be felt, deeply and personally, without explanation. So carry your mantra with quiet confidence. Let it be the compass that leads you forward, the foundation that keeps you strong. Because in the end, what matters is not how many people agree with you, but how fully you live by the truths that give your life meaning. And the deepest strength comes from the beliefs that remain yours, untouched by the opinions of others. At this stage in life, we realize that wisdom is not only about what we have learned, but also about what we choose to keep to ourselves. There is a delicate balance between openness and discretion, between sharing and safeguarding. Some things, when spoken to freely, lose their value, while others, when kept private, grow stronger. What we choose to reveal shapes how the world sees us, but what we choose to protect defines how we see ourselves. And that is where true power lies, not in seeking validation from others, but in knowing that some things are best kept sacred. Think of the stories untold, the battles fought in silence, the victories celebrated in the quiet corners of your heart. The world does not need to know every detail of your journey to respect you. Your dignity is not measured by how much you reveal, but by how you carry yourself. The assumptions people make, the judgments they form, and the expectations they place upon you, none of them have power unless you allow them to. So as you continue forward, choose wisely what you share and what you hold close. Let your age be defined by your vitality, not by numbers. Let your financial state remain your own business, free from expectations or judgment. Protect the honor of your family by keeping its challenges within its walls. Guard your health from becoming a topic of pity or speculation. Keep your intimacy sacred, your generosity quiet, your honor dignified, your past wounds released, and your personal beliefs as a private source of strength. What you choose not to say is just as powerful as what you do. In a world that constantly demands attention, let your greatest strength be in what remains unspoken. Because in the end, life is not measured by how many people know your story, but by how authentically you have lived it. So ask yourself, what will you protect? What will you keep sacred? Because the wisdom of silence is often the greatest wisdom of all. And that, more than anything, is the mark of a life lived with dignity, strength, and grace. Thank you for following us till the end. Don't forget to show some love by clicking the like button and subscribe. This supports the channel and allows me to continue creating content for you. Leave your thoughts or comments below. Feel free to express yourself and stay positive. See you next time.